So guys, now that we have completed with professions, let's move on to the second point with regards to the second house. What does the second, what does the point other than the professions we can look from the second house? So as you can read it out here, it says it is the house of Thorotnik. Yes, second house in our horoscope, like we studied in the first house, that first house in Vedic astrology was symbolic of our forehead, and similarly the second house in Vedic astrology represents our face, represents the neck region, represents the mouth, represents the tongue, teeth, especially the right side of the face. So, and since it represents the tongue, it is very much representative of the kind of speech we have. So by looking at the second house of the person, we can actually decipher out that what kind of a speech does this person have. Is he a chatterbox who would not keep quiet even when he enters a spiritual sanctuary or any holy place where he is expected to at least keep his voice at a lower frequency, or is he one of those individuals who are who is like a geek, who would not budge, who would not speak up even in the one of the most vibrant parties, even when the atmosphere is very electric? And what else from this house? Like I told you that it is representative of a speech, and there's a secret coming up. This is what differentiates my channel from the rest of the channels on the YouTube. I'll be telling you those secrets which probably haven't been revealed on YouTube up till now. So many of you for sure must have been freaked out when I gave the example of the co-branding, as this was something you didn't wanted to hear, but as it is said, for those who wait, they get greater things in life. So I don't know whether God does justice to that statement or not, but at least your host will do that, and that what makes me a little better person, isn't it? So here goes, from the second house we can actually make out that what kind of a speech you have. You must have regularly come across or occasionally come across people who are very eloquent and who are very charming, when that every word they speak, that's so sweet, that's so mesmerizing, that their speech is like that. It's like a song that just plays in our mind. We love them for their voice, and likely the people who have their second house very well placed, these people can actually make good singers, make good public speakers. And now the secret. If any of those individuals, if you have a look at your chart, and if you have the planets, like if you have the planets Moon or Venus, if you have any of these two planets placed in this second house, then for sure is the fact that yours would be a very eloquent, and yours would be a very charming speech, and there are high chances that you may go into the professions that are related to singing. And if both of these planets are present, and the second house, even if the second house is in an above average dignity, then there are likely chances that you may get a lot of fame in the profession related to singing, or anything that has to do with the musical industry. So and the reason why is that since your speech is so eloquent and mesmerizing, that even if you don't struck the right musical notes or the musical tunes, even if you don't play that guitar or any of the musical instruments, saxophone is my favorite. Even if you don't struck those right notes on any of these musical instruments, but every word that you utter out of your mouth is is so charming that people want to hear you, and that's what is the that's what is a prerequisite of somebody who is a known singer. And then what the second secret? What if you have a planet like Sun placed in the second house? What can you make of it then? Would you be going into a profession that is related to singing? No, unless there are other combinations present. But if somebody has Sun in the second house, what we can see is that since Sun is is designated the status of a king in Vedic astrology, and obviously the attributes of I shall say the attributes of eloquence, the attributes of a charming, sweet voice that are associated with Moon and Venus, these are not the attributes that are associated with the planet Sun. In fact, the planet Sun is symbolic of the dynamic and the magnetic aura, the powerful aura that you possess. So the moment these people speak, people are just awestruck by this figure called Sun, and every word that comes out of the mouth of this person is being heard to and respected, like we respect the Sun, like we respect the king. And since people are already awestruck by this personality, and since they know that that this figure, that is the Sun, the kingly figure that is standing in front of them and delivering the speech, since he is possessed with the rarest and the finest mixed bag of rare qualities that are not to be found in a normal individual, they respect every word that comes out of your mouth. And when you take over that stage, there's a pinpoint silence, and whatever you utter is respected for sure. And then the most important secret: what if you have a planet like Mars in the second house? And this is probably what you would not even find in the Vedic books, but I have seen in my personal studies that if you have a planet like Mars in the second house, then you could be verbally abusive. Yes, you could be verbally abusive. Now, is that for sure that if you have Mars in the second house, you would be verbally abusive for sure? No, absolutely not. As I told you that we cannot make a prediction with just taking into account a single planetary combination. Just because the Mars alone is present in the second house, we cannot make of the fact that this person is verbally abusive. What if that Mars is receiving aspects from the benefics like Jupiter, Moon, Venus? Of course, then the severity of that verbal abuse would come down for sure. In fact, that verbal abuse would not remain a verbal abuse any longer. It would be a channelized aggression. Since Mars is a planet that is associated with sports, energy, aggression, willpower, these people, when they speak, they are so fueled up, they are so triggered up that they can infuse life into a dead soul when they speak. So on one side we can say that this person is verbally abusive, but if Mars is enjoying the aspects from the planets like Jupiter, Moon or Venus, then we could easily see a person who shows the channelized aggression. He could be a person who is a military commander, who when addressing his cadets, he speaks with such energy that that literally those cadets who are hearing to him, they have goosebumps at that very instant. And his motivation, the way he motivates his cadets, it's like those cadets would be feeling that they just want to straight away go to the war front and butcher down that enemy of theirs. So this is a very favorable thing for somebody who may be a military commander. Then he could, if you have Mars that is receiving aspects from the Jupiter, Moon or Venus, then this channelized aggression could be in the form of somebody who is associated with politics, somebody who is a businessman. And these are two areas, politics and business, wherein you are not you are not saying all those verbally abusive words, you are not using that verbally abusive language, but yours is a channelized aggression. And although you might be instigating the other people, or you might be saying that our party is the best, their party is not. You might be casting aspersions on their character, whatever you might be doing. But your might be a aggression that would not go to the extent of you being verbally abusive, since it is very channelized now. So it could help you bring a business deal, it could help you in convincing your customers, and if you're in politics, you may speak in such a manner that people may believe in you, people may be awestruck by the energy and fueled up momentum that spurred that flip that they see in your voice, and you may end up winning their votes. So never make a planetary prediction based on a single planet. But yes, of course, Mars, if placed in bad dignity, then that person would be verbally abusive for sure. Let's suppose Mars is at its weakest point, that is, if the Mars is placed in the second house and if it is debilitated. I told you what we mean by debilitation in the first episode. I'll tell it again. Debilitation is a term which means Mars is at its weakest point. So if that Mars is debilitated, or if that Mars is receiving aspects from its enemies like Saturn, not even Saturn, Saturn could also play a role, but especially if Mars is receiving aspects from Ketu or Rahu, then for sure you can see a person who might be verbally abusive. And you encounter such verbally abusive people on the daily basis. So if you are a boy, at the moment you are angry, you would utter those words that just end up spoiling the relationship that you have built on for years, and you are like, hey you bitch, fuck you, and something like that. Or if a girl who has the similar placement, she might be like, hey you filthy moron, you drunkard womanizer, you son of a bitch, and things like that can happen. So what next does the second house deal with? Well, there's let me tell you, since I have revealed these secrets about Sun, Moon, Venus, Sun, and what Mars could do in the second house. There are still some of those secrets that I'll be revealing at the end of this episode. So for those of you who want to get enlightened, it's up to you if you want to continue watching it, and I'll make sure that you will have to wait for it. And that's why I'm not taking the point that deals with food habits. This is where I'll be revealing the rest of the secrets. So I'll first deal with beauty, because I want you morons to wait for it. So second house, as I told you, is the house that represents the face. It represents the eyes, it represents the mouth, neck region. So obviously beauty is associated with the second house. And why do I say that that our face, that our nose, mouth, neck region can be seen from the second house? And why is the second house associated with beauty? Because the reason I say this is because of the fact that second house is originally owned by Venus, and Venus is designated the status of a queen in Vedic astrology. And obviously beauty is the prime attribute that is associated with the queen. But if you were to read any of these Vedic texts, or if you were to go to any Vedic astrologer who would not think out of the box, then if you have a planet like Sun, Mars, if you have a planet like Rahu, Ketu, then he would say that this person might not be that attractive facially, but he's strong. Actually, what those Vedic texts really mean, and this is where I teach you that how we got to change that interpretation, since we are living in a modern time and not in the olden times back when the Vedic texts were written. So instead of saying that these planets in the second house can make you beautiful, what we should be actually making out of the second house is that this is the house that indicates that what makes us beautiful. So, since second house is the house of the right side of the brain that has to do with the rational thinking, the mathematical computations, the statistical analysis, the way your knack and aptitude to take the right decisions at the right time, it's the house that deals with the facial beauty, and it's the house that deals with the tongue, the neck region. So what we can make out, what this house tells is that what is that particular attribute in your personality that makes you look appealing, that makes you look presentable, that makes you look beautiful to the other people. Is it the facial beauty that you possess that allures the other people towards you, or is your why am I saying why, or is your voice or the way you speak, is your voice so eloquent and charming that people are just mesmerized by the way you speak? Or you must have come across people who are not facially beautiful. They may have face marks, neither they have a sweet voice, but you must have come across girls who may not possess both these traits. They may not be very sweet when it comes to speaking. They may not be facially very beautiful, but the way they use their head, since second house also deals with the right side of the brain, the way these girls use their head, or anybody, especially I'm giving the examples of the girls because normally the beauty is associated with the girls. So these girls, the way they use their right side of the brain, the way they bring their intelligence to the table, the way they vouch and authenticate the fact that they have really got a head over their heels, that is something that makes them beautiful. And the way they take decisions and the way they show their intelligence is such a triggering point that you don't care about her facial beauty or her voice. Her intelligence alone, her rationality alone is such a triggering point that you may find that girl irresistible. So what if a planet like Saturn is there in the second house? Of course, you may not be facially beautiful, but what it could mean that since Saturn is a planet of patience, perseverance, it's a planet that makes you a very hardworking personality. So people may not like you for your facial beauty, for your voice, or for your out-of-box thinking, but people may like you for the fact that you stick to a particular routine. You are a very routine-oriented person. You are a person who is ready to work 12 to 18 hours a day. So people may respect you for the hard work. That is a part of your personality. And then what next? Here comes the secrets. Okay. Then second house. It's very warm out here in India, and the fan is not working properly, and if I put on the AC, it kind of cuts off the voice. So I literally have sweat on my forehead. Anyways, when from the second house, and second house is the house that deals with the throat, that deals with the tongue. So we can see what kind of the food habits do you have, or any individual have, by looking at his second chart. Or I could put it the other way, that second house in the Vedic astrology can actually tell what kind of the food habits do you indulge in, what are your preferences when it comes to deciding that which food or which particular recipe do you love the most. So you might have come across individuals who out of 30 days in a month, for at least 15 days they are dining out of their home. They don't like the home cooked food at all. My brother is one such personality, and these are people who like to dine every day. They are inclined towards going to a restaurant, going to whether it's binging at the street side food or going to a restaurant. These are the people who love the food that is not home cooked. They love to go outside and dine. And since this is a house of luxuries and comfort, so going out of the house, getting the food served to you at the lavish settings in the restaurants, in the 5 stars, is symbolic of that. And on the other hand, Now the secret. And on the other hand, there are people who no matter what happens, they might be partying hard, they might be going out every day, they might be associated with the industry like cinema or any industry or profession that is very glamorous in itself, but what makes them satiated is that even when they come back from the party, let's suppose at 2 in the morning, they need something that is home cooked, which satiates their which just gives them the satisfaction that okay, they now it is that their their appetite for dinner has got satiated. And if you have Saturn in the second house, you are such a personality, because Saturn is about the routine work. Saturn is about saving money. Saturn is about doing the things the age-old way. So the people who have Saturn in the second house normally prefer the home-cooked food, and the reason could be anything. It could be a Saturnian reason that he wants to save money. So that is why he's preferring the home-cooked food, or it could be the thing like. Although he is not that money savvy, but he loves that home cooked food. It is that home cooked food only that makes him that he finds most palatable, rather than going out to the 5-stars, Shangri-Las, Taj palaces. All those things do not allure him. Unlike the other person who might like to dine 15 days outside out of 30 days in a month. Another secret, this second house is full of secrets, and that's what makes the second house very special. So from the second house, what else can we make out? If the second house of the person, from the second house of the person, we can actually decipher it out that whether this person is a vegan or this person is a vegetarian. I wonder why this term vegetarian was coined. At least it's beyond the realm of my personal comprehension, and does it make sense? I don't know. But this house could actually tell whether that person is a vegan, or he's a vegetarian, or he is a flesh eater. Now, if the second house of the individual is well placed, does that mean that that person would not be eating flesh? No, of course. We are living in a modern day age, and there 80% of the people, or at least in the countries outside India, they are non-vegetarian people. But what these people would do is that they may take they may eat flesh, they may indulge into they may take wine, alcohol, or anything related to the alcoholic drinks, but they would take in a very systematic manner. They would take it occasionally or rarely, or in a very dignified way, as a gentleman should take these alcoholic drinks. But if somebody has their second house badly screwed up, what happens with this individual is that not only are these individuals big time flesh eaters, but these individuals could also give in to the drugs, like they could be smoking cigarettes, they could be the chain smokers, and things like that can follow. And if something that is if the second house is at its worst best, I mean if it's if it's very 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 badly placed, then what we can see is that these people would not only be hard drinkers. They would not only be the regular alcohol drinkers, or they would be the regular chain smokers, but these people could even give in to the drugs that induce the temporary or the permanent insensibility. So many of these people can indulge into taking drugs. For example, what do I say? I can give the example of cannabis, marijuana, then alprazolam. For those of you who are well versed with the medical sciences or biotechnology, as I have studied, alprazolam is also one drug that gives you a momentarily happiness. Or on a more severe note, these people could even indulge into the steroid abuse. So from the second house, if the second house is not well placed, then these people regularly give into to these drugs or the substances. They give into the drug abuse or take the substances that give you a momentarily kick or a momentarily happiness. And Red Bull lovers, yes, Red Bull lovers can be seen from the second house. Anyways, if your second house is badly placed or is well placed, Red Bull has got nothing to do with that. That was just a joke. Red Bull is just normal drink that even a person who is who loves the home cooked food, he may also occasionally take Red Bull. And I would like to give a personal example from my studies. I was looking at a chart of a person. I just saw the news of that person in the TV. I'll tell you later what all things he was doing. And when I looked at his chart, I got all those details that are displayed in the that are regularly available on many of the websites, or it was declared at the TV channel itself. And when I drew his chart and had a look at it, I was very sure of the fact that no matter what, I don't know whether this person is morally correct or is he falsely alleged for a crime, but there is great amount of nuisance when it comes to the second house of this individual, which seems to be badly spoiled. And wonder who that person was. He was a criminal. He was a criminal in India, and he used to eat human flesh. He was a cannibal. Things like that can be seen if your second house is not in good dignity.